laughed angrily. That's stupid, he said.
That's stupid.
Perhaps the motor sledges can go all night, but the Englishmen can't.
Englishmen
The
can't.
English can't win, Roald.
The
They
English
don't
can't.
understand snow,
They
but
don't
we
understand
do.
snow.
And they're too slow.
And they're too slow.
Perhaps, Amundsen
Perhaps.
said. But I want to win this race,
This ways.
so we're going to start early.
We're
Do you
going.
understand?
Do you understand?
It was quiet and warm inside Framheim.
Inside from Ham.
Bjaaland looked at Amundsen
Look at
and thought
Amundsen.
about the long, cold journey in front of him.
Cold journey.
He thought about the dogs in their holes under the snow and listened to the wind over the house. When, Roald? He said quietly. On August 24th.
And
The
August
sun
24.
comes back on that day.
That day.
We start then.
We start then.
But we can't.
But we
Johansen
can't.
said. He looked angry and unhappy.
Look hungry.
That's too early.
That's
We
too
can't
early.
start then.
We can't
It's
stand then.
dangerous and stupid.
It's dangerous.
Amundsen looked at Johansen coldly. You're wrong.
You are wrong,
Johansen, he said.
he said.
We want to win.
We want to
Remember?
win.
So we start on August 24th.
24.
Bjaaland listened to the winter wind outside.
Outside.
In Scott's camp at
In
Cape
Scott
Evans,
camp.
no one talked about Amundsen, and no one worked hard. They had good food,
We
and
had
they
good
played
food.
football on the snow.
Football.
They wrote a newspaper, the South Polar Times,
Newspaper.
and read books.
And read books.
No one learned to ski. No one worked on the motor sledges. Twice, men went for long journeys across the snow.
For the long journey.
They walked and pulled the sledges themselves. Oates stayed at Cape Evans and looked after his ponies.
And look after.
Over the window, in
Over the
Cape
window.
Evans, Scott put a map of Antarctica. With a pen, he made
With
a
a
line
pen.
from Cape Evans to the South Pole,
To the South
and he put a
Pole.
little British flag at the pole. Under the map, Scott wrote the day for the start of their journey. We start on November
Start.
3rd.
November 1st.
Chapter 6.
Chapter
A
6.
Bad Start.
A bad stop.
On August 23rd, the
On
Norwegian
August
sledges
23rd.
were ready. They took them outside, and the dogs pulled them across the ice. The sun came up for half an hour,
Half an hour.
but it was too cold.
Too cold.
Minus 46 degrees centigrade.
46 degrees.
They could not travel in that.
Not travel.
They went back to Framheim and waited.
And wait.
They waited 2 weeks
They waited
until September 8th.
September 8th.
Then, with
Then
the temperature at minus 37 degrees centigrade, they
30
started.
degree, 30 degree.
They ran happily across the snow to the south.
Snow.
8 men,
8 men.
7 sledges,
7
and 86 dogs.
and 80.
Only Lindström, the
Only
cook,
Lindström
stayed behind in
stayed
Framheim.
behind.
At first, everything went
first.
well. They went 28 kilometers on Saturday,
28 kilometers
28 kilometers on Sunday.
on Sunday.
It was easy.
It was easy.
Then, on Monday,
Then
the
on Monday,
temperature went down to minus 56 degrees centigrade.
centigrade.
There was white fog in front of their faces.
Front of
They couldn't
faces.
see anything.
Anything.
but they travelled 28 kilometers.
Kilometers.
That night, in their tents,
Kilo.
they nearly died of cold.
Kilometer.
Next day,
Next
they
day.
stopped and made snow houses. Inside the snow houses, it was warm,
Inside the snow house.
but everyone was unhappy. I told you, Roald, Johansson said.
You had
Even
inside.
September is too early.
It's too early.
We can't travel in this cold. Do you want us to die?
Do you want
Let's go back and
Let's
wait
go
for better weather.
better weather?
Amundsen was very angry.
Amundsen
He
was
was angry
very
with Johansson,
angry.
but he was angry with himself too. He knew Johansson was right.
Was right.
All right,
All
he
right.
said slowly.
Slowly.
We can go on to the depot at 80 degrees south.
80
Leave
degrees
the food
south.
there, and then go back.
Back.
We can't do more than that. It was 37 kilometers to the depot.
It was
The
30
wind was in their
Wind
faces all
faces.
day.
all day.
Two dogs died
Two dogs
on the way.
died on the way.
At the depot, they did not stop. They put out the food and the flags,
On the
turned
flight
round, and went north.
and went north.
At last, the wind was behind them. The dogs ran quickly, and the men sat on the empty sledges. They went faster and faster.
And faster
like
and
the rest.
faster.
Amundsen was on Wisting's sledge, and soon he, Wisting, and Hansen were 3 or 4 kilometers in front. Soon they were
Soon.
alone. They travelled 75 kilometers in 9
75
hours,
kilometers
and they reached Framheim at 4 o'clock that afternoon.
and 4 o'clock.
Bjorland arrived 2 hours later with 2 more men,
With 2 more men.
but the last 2, Johansson and Prestrud, went more slowly. Their dogs were tired.
The
Their
dogs
feet were
retired.
wet and cold. They had no food,
No food
and they were alone in the dark.
in the dark.
The temperature was
The
minus
temperature.
51 degrees centigrade.
51
They
degrees.
reached Framheim at midnight. Next morning,
Next
Johansson
morning,
was angry. In front of everyone, he said, "You were wrong, Roald.
we're
September
wrong.
was
September
too early.
was too
I
early.
told you,
I
but
told
you
you,
didn't listen.
didn't it?
And
Listen.
then you left us alone, and we nearly died in the cold.
Nearly die.
You're a bad captain. I'm
Captain.
a better captain than you are." Amundsen was very angry.
Amundsen was very
But
angry.
At first, he said nothing
He said nothing.
because he knew that
Because
Johansson
knew.
was right.
Newcomson.
Then,
Then
that evening,
that
he
evening,
gave a letter to Johansson. It said, "You aren't coming to the pole with me.
with me,
When I go south, you can take some dogs and go east to King Edward VII's land. You can go with Prestrud and Stubberud.
a
You can be
stupid
the first men to go there,
first man,
but not to the South Pole."
South Pole.
The Norwegians stayed in
The
Framheim
Norwegian
and
states
waited. They lay in bed, listened to the wind outside,
outside.
and thought about Scott and his motor sledges.
Motor sledges. Motor sledges.
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Motor sledges and
Motor
mountain.
sledges.
Scott had 2 motor sledges now. They were the first motor sledges in the Antarctic, the first on Earth.
The first on Earth.
On October 24th, the motor
24.
sledges started south from Cape Evans. 4 men went
4
with
men.
them, but Scott stayed at Cape Evans for another week.
for another week.
Oates was unhappy. He wrote to his mother, "We had a very bad winter here.
We had very bad.
I don't like Scott.
I don't like Scott.
We were here all winter, but he didn't learn to ski or to
ski.
drive dogs. Our equipment is bad,
Our equipment
and he doesn't
is
think
bad.
about other people.
Other people.
I'm going to sleep in his tent on the journey,
I'm going to sleeping.
but I don't want to."
Want to.
On November 1st,
On November
Scott
1st,
and Oates
On
and
November
6 more men
1st,
left Cape Evans,
left
8
Cape
sledges
Evans.
and 8 ponies. The ponies walked slowly
The
because
ponies
their feet went down
slowly.
into the snow. It was hard work for them,
It was
and
hard
they got
work
tired very quickly.
very quickly.
They traveled 13,
They traveled 13,
14
14
in a day.
kilometers.
Behind the ponies
Behind
came Mears
the
with one sledge and
ponies,
some dogs.
some dogs.
Mears knew how to drive dogs.
Drive dogs.
Every day,
Every day,
Mears started 2 hours after the
2
ponies
hours.
and arrived
And
2
ride
hours
2
before
hours.
them. After 5 days,
After 5
they
days,
found the motor sledges.
sledges.
The Norwegians began again on October
The Norwegian
20.
began again.
There were 5 men this
There
time.
were 5 men.
Amundsen,
Emerson,
Bjaaland,
Violand,
Wisting,
Visting,
Hassel,
Parcel,
and Hansen.
and Hansen.
They had 4 sledges
They had
and
4
48
sledges,
dogs.
dogs,
There was a lot of wind and fog.
fog.
On the first day,
On the first day,
Wisting's sledge suddenly stopped, and the back went down.
and the back went down.
"Come on,
Come
you
on,
dogs!"
you
he
dogs!
said angrily.
Angry,
Pull,
fool,
pull.
fool.
At first,
At
nothing
first,
happened.
nothing happened.
Then, slowly, the
And
sledge moved again.
Sledge move again.
Wisting looked down over the side of the sledge.
Sledge
Under the snow,
under the
there was
snow,
a 15-meter hole.
15 meters.
"Did you see that?"
Did
Amundsen
you
said.
see that?
"The ice wants to eat us.
It
Men,
has men,
dogs,
men,
sledges,
dogs,
everything."
sledges, everything.
On the 4th day,
On the
they
fourth
reached the
day,
depot at 80 degrees south.
80 degrees down,
There was a bad snowstorm,
no
but they
storm,
found the flags easily.
easily.
Next day,
Next
the men
day,
stayed in their tents,
10
and the dogs played in their holes under the snow.
under the snow.
They were all happy.
They were
They had a
all
lot of
happy.
food, they had
Food.
good equipment, and they were warm. They
Warm,
could travel fast.
travel fast.
Next morning, the
Next morning,
snowstorm stopped, and the journey began
and the journey
again. Today,
today,
everything is wonderful.
everything
Bjaaland
is
wrote in his
wonderful.
diary. But where is Scott? In front of us or behind? There was no one with the motor sledges.
There was no one.
They were broken.
They were broken.
Scott looked
Scott.
at them angrily. "It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
He said,
matter.
Teddy Evans and his men are in
Teddy
front of us.
was.
They're good men.
They're good
They're
men.
pulling their sledges themselves. We can get to the pole on foot."
On the foot.
Oates looked at Mears.
Look at men.
Oates and the ponies were tired,
Ponies
but Mears and his dogs were not.
were not.
The snow was home.
With snow.
That night, Oates wrote
That
3 motor
night,
sledges at £1,000 each. 19 ponies
19
at £5
ponies,
each. 32 dogs at
32
£1.50
dogs.
each. Well,
Well,
it's not my money.
it's
it's Scott's.
not my money.
On November 21st,
On November
one of the
21st,
ponies died.
ponies died.
On November 11th,
On
the
November
Norwegians
11th,
saw the mountains.
so the
The
mountain
mountains were very high,
very high.
some of the highest on earth. Bjaaland smiled.
Violan
There's
smiled.
good skiing up there, Roald, he said. But can dogs get up there too? Of course they can, Amundsen said.
Amundsen
Come on.
sighed.
They left Hansen with the dogs and
With the
skied
dog.
a little way up the mountains.
Up the mountains.
It was difficult,
It was
but the
difficult
mountains were big and beautiful.
and beautiful.
Behind the mountains,
Behind the
Amundsen
mountains,
thought there was a high plateau of ice. That's it,
that's it,
Amundsen said.
Amundsen said.
That's the road to the pole. Tomorrow, we can bring the dogs and sledges up here.
Sledges
But
appear.
now, let's have a ski race.
Let's
Who can
ski.
get back to camp first?
Come first.
They laughed and skied happily down the white snow. This is like home,
This
Bjorn
like
thought.
home.
But it's bigger than Norway.
Big
and
Norway.
better. In the next 4 days,
In the next
the
4
dogs
days,
pulled the sledges 81
Sledges.
kilometers and
81
went up 3,000 meters.
meters.
At last, Amundsen and Bjorland stood
Amundsen,
on the plateau
Bjorland.
behind the mountains.
Had the mountains.
They were tired, happy
were
men.
Happy men.
Bjorland looked back at the mountains.
Violan,
Can a motor sledge get up here? He asked.
he asked.
Amundsen smiled.
Amundsen smiled. No,
He said,
he said.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And Scott doesn't like
Scott.
dogs.
Black dog.
So his men are going to
His
pull their sledges up these mountains themselves.
Shows.
Would you like to do that, Olaf?
Would you like to do Olaf?
Bjorland didn't answer
Would you like to do
smiled.
Olaf?
and skied happily away across the snow.
Cross the snow.
Chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
Across the Plateau.
Across the plateau.
On November 21st,
On November
the Norwegians
21st,
killed 30 dogs.
30 dogs.
They were happy.
They were
Amundsen said,
happy.
And now they're going to die quickly.
Quickly.
We need 3 sledges and
We
18
need-
dogs to go to the pole.
Go to the pole.
When the dogs were dead, the other dogs ate them. The men ate them too. They were good friends,
They were
Bjorland
good friends.
wrote in his diary. And now they are good food.
Good food.
2 days later,
2
the
days
dogs were
later,
fat. Then, in a snowstorm, they began their journey again.
journey again.
After the snowstorm, there was fog,
Fog.
and in the fog,
And
they
in
got
the
lost
fog,
on an ice river with hundreds of big holes in it.
big hole.
They could see nothing,
I could
and
see
it was
nothing.
very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
In 4 days, they
In 4
moved
days.
9 kilometers.
9 kilometers.
But the ice is beautiful.
It's
Bjorland wrote.
beautiful.
Blue and green and white. This is a wonderful place,
This is
but I
one
don't want to stay a long time.
a long time.
After the ice, there were strong winds and bad snowstorms. They could see nothing in front
I
of
could
them,
see nothing.
but every day
But
they
every day,
traveled 25 to 30
25
kilometers.
kilometers.
Then, on December 9th, the sun came out. They were at 88 degrees, 23 minutes south,
20 minutes south
175 kilometers from the pole.
from the pole.
5 more long days.
5
Bjorland
more
wrote.
long days.
That's all now. But where is Scott?
But where is Scott?
For 4 days, Scott's men stayed in their tents near the mountains.
Near the mountains.
There is a bad snowstorm outside, Oates wrote. It's too cold for the ponies.
It's
And
too
our
cold
clothes
for
and
the
skis
ponies.
are bad too.
Bad too.
On December 9th,
And on
Oates
December
killed the
9th,
ponies. They were tired and
they
ill,
were tired.
and they could not walk up to the plateau. Then Mears and his dogs went back to Cape Evans. We can pull the sledges ourselves, Scott said. We can do it.
We can't do
All
it.
strong men.
They're all strong men.
There were 2 sledges and 8
Two
men.
sledges.
They went 24 kilometers a day.
24 kilometers.
On December 31st,
31.
Scott said to Teddy Evans and the men on the second sledge, "You can't ski well. Leave your skis here." So they pulled their sledge
Pulled the
24
sledges.
kilometers without
24
skis.
kilometers.
Next day,
Next day,
Scott went to Teddy Evans's tent. "You're ill, Teddy.
you're
said.
over Teddy.
You can't come to the pole.
To the pole.
Take 2 men and go back. Tomorrow."
Tomorrow.
Teddy Evans was very unhappy.
Very happy.
2 men, Captain. he
2
said.
men, Captain.
Why not 3?
Why not 3?
Because Bowers is going to
Because-
come with me.
Come
Scott
with me.
said. He's
Upset.
strong.
He's strong.
We need him.
We mean.
But you have food on your sledge for 4 men.
For
not
4 men.
5,
Not
Evans
5.
said. And Bowers has no skis.
No ski.
I'm the captain, Teddy.
I'm a
Scott said.
captain.
You
Teddy.
do what I say.
You do.
Take 2 men and leave Bowers with me.
Leave Bowers.
Oates wrote to his mother, "I'm going to the pole with Scott. I am pleased and I feel strong." But in his diary he wrote, "My feet are very bad.
Very bad.
They are always wet now."
Always
and they don't
wet
look
now.
On January 4th,
On January
Scott's
4th,
men left Teddy Evans and went on. Scott, Oates, Wilson and Edgar Evans had skis,
had
but
skis.
Bowers did not.
Bowers
They were 270 kilometers from the pole.
250 kilometers.
December 14th, 1911 was a
December
warm,
14.
sunny day. 5 Norwegians skied over the beautiful white snow. It was very quiet.
It was
No
very
one spoke.
quiet.
They were excited and happy.
They were excited.
6 more kilometers, Bjorland thought. Is there a British flag? I can't see a flag, but... Look, Hassel said.
Look,
What's that over there?
what's that over there?
Bjorland left his sledge and skied quickly away over the snow. What is it? He thought.
What is it?
Is it? No. It's
No.
nothing.
It's
he thought.
nothing.
There's nothing there.
It's nothing
Nothing.
there. Nothing.
3 kilometers.
3
Two.
kilometers.
Rewald,
Revolt.
Hansen called to Amundsen. Go in front of me, please. It helps my dogs. That's not true, Bjorland thought. His dogs are running well today. But Hansen wants Amundsen to be first. The first man at
The
the
first
South
man.
Pole. They skied on and on, over the beautiful snow.
Over the beautiful snow.
Stop, Amundsen said. He waited quietly for his men. This is it.
This
He said.
is it.
Bjorland looked at him. But there's nothing here.
Nothing
said.
here.
Amundsen smiled.
Amundsen
Oh,
smiled.
yes, there is.
Oh,
said.
yes, stay here.
There's something very
Something.
important here, Olaf.
Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
What's that, Draw?
What's that, draw?
Us.
Us.
We are here now.
We are here
Isn't
now.
that important, Olaf?
Important Olaf.
The 4 men stood on the snow and looked at him.
Olaf. What does
Then-
mean?
Slowly,
Slowly.
they all began to laugh.